Alright YouTube, so we are about a month out from E3 2018, June 12th to June 14th, and really quickly, doesn't that seem a little short? I feel like E3 is always like about a week long or so. Maybe they're doing stuff before and after the conference, like a day or two before, a day or two after, but it's only like 3 days. That seems short. But anyways, E3 2018, we have a bunch of leaks today. Now, of course, it's a leak. That doesn't mean that it's 100% credible, but we're going to go over everything. Let's get into it. Now, before we hop into it, we are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so if you guys are new, hook your boy up with that subscribe. So, E3 leaks, this happens every single year, nothing new, nothing surprising. Sometimes it's games that we already knew were going to come out, like in this case, and sometimes it's games that we had no idea existed. What we have here is Walmart in Canada. I don't know if it's a specific one, if it's a couple Walmarts in Canada, or just the whole of Canada. They're just leaking all the goddamn games. Either way, Walmart in Canada posted some pre-orders for games that some have been announced, like Last of Us 2, but no official release date yet, and then some that were unannounced, like Rage 2 or Borderlands 3. Either way, let's get into this shit. Walmart Canada loses its mind, posts store listings for Splinter Cell, Borderlands 3, Rage 2, Gears of War 5, and others, and there's a lot of others. Walmart Canada has just posted a huge update to their website that adds a bunch of as-yet unannounced games to their pre-order listings. The games list, spotted by Wario64 on Twitter, includes listings for unannounced sequels including Splinter Cell, Rage 2, Just Cause 4, LEGO DC Villains, Borderlands 3, Gears of War 5, and an unnamed Assassin's Creed title. The listings are mixed with pre-orders from titles we already know about, including Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Insurgency Sandstorm, The Division 2, and The Last of Us 2. So yeah, most of that is true. We knew some of those games existed, like Final Fantasy 7 Remake. We already knew Last of Us 2. Obviously, that's already got a trailer as well. I think you can already pre-order those two. I think you can already pre-order Final Fantasy 7 Remake, even though we know nothing about a release date for that game. And you may have already been able to pre-order Last of Us 2. I'm not entirely sure on that. But I personally didn't even know about Division 2, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Metroid Prime 4. I didn't know those even existed at all. Then you have the unannounced titles like Gears of War 5, which we could assume they were going to make a Gears of War 5 eventually. They're going to beat that series into the ground forever. We knew we'd inevitably get a Borderlands 3, but we just didn't know any information about it at all. And then a Rage 2, again, makes sense. It was a very popular game, but we had no information on that. Just Cause 4 is another interesting one. That one was unannounced, but it is a popular game. It's a popular series. It's to be expected to have a sequel eventually. Here's a screenshot from Walmart Canada. It's kind of shitty quality on my computer, so I don't know how it's going to appear in the video for you guys, but you can generally make out what the games are. And we already kind of discussed the important games. Discuss the important games, at least in my opinion. You have other ones that are obvious, like the 2K19 NBA games. Sports games, yeah, we get it. There's also a lot weird about the additions, however, including a listing for Forza Horizon 5, a title that not only features an extra letter than usual, but one that's also a bit of a leap. We haven't yet had a Forza Horizon 4, though that sequel is all but guaranteed, even though the Forza Horizon studio is said to be working on Fable 4. PS4 and Xbox One listings for a Dragon Quest II are also strange, the closest current titles being Dragon Quest Heroes 2 and Dragon Quest XI, one of which is already out, while neither is coming to Xbox One. So yeah, a couple things here that kind of hurt the credibility of this supposed leak is that why is the Forza Horizon 5 misspelled? Why is it Forza Horizon 5 when we don't even have a 4 yet? The Dragon Quest one is also kind of weird, but I did see some other articles talking about it potentially being Dragon Quest Builders 2, which the Dragon Quest Builders was only a PlayStation exclusive, and it was on the Switch. But if they happen to make a sequel to that, it could potentially come out on all platforms, that way they get more money. Who knows? Another pre-order listing mentions Destiny Comment, which was featured in older Destiny leaks as a term for Destiny expansions. Some games in the list have had leaks before. Splinter Cell has been expected at E3 this year for a while in the wake of a listing for Splinter Cell 2018 briefly appearing on Amazon Canada, the Canadians again, before being wiped. The potential for something Destiny related I do not care about. I gave the first one a bunch of time. I played a lot of the first one, but it got boring eventually, to the point that I did not even care about the sequel, so I don't care if this is a Destiny 3 or an expansion for Destiny 2, does not matter to me. The Splinter Cell one's a bit interesting. I like kind of stealthy games. I haven't played the Splinter Cell series in a long time. I don't even know when the last time was that we had a Splinter Cell game, but whatevs. Borderlands 3 is also something of a known quantity, with Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford having said work would begin on a new Borderlands game once the studio was done with Battleborn. Later, he said 90% of the studio was all hard at work on something fans would be anticipating, which makes it pretty obvious. Now, this is one of the ones that I'm most interested in. I've recently become a fan of the Borderlands series. I played very, very little of the first one. As you can see, I'm currently playing through the second one, and I have, of course, the pre-sequel. I have the Handsome Collection. So I'm recently a fan of this series, so I'm interested in, of course, Borderlands 3. And to the best of my knowledge, we don't have any news on it, but again, we knew there would be one eventually. So if this one is potentially true and we get a Borderlands 3 at E3, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise, but it'd still be great. Bethesda decided to weigh in on the listings with its usual brand of humor. So right here we actually have the Rage Twitter poking fun at the Rage 2 box art, which most of these have just like the title of the game, or like the placeholder title, whatever it is, on just the box art. So they're making fun of it, saying that it doesn't look like the Rage font, it doesn't have the Anarchy symbol for the A, things like that. We also have the Bethesda Twitter responding to all this and just saying, dude. And on top of all this, we had Uncle Petey himself, Pete Hines, respond to somebody tweeting out a question to him. So this guy tweeted at Pete Hines and said, "Pete, where is the next Doom?" And Pete Hines himself replied with, "Go buy a magic 8-ball at Walmart and ask it, sick burn." And look, I don't want to try to add any credibility to this shit because none of it's entirely true until we know some more, until we actually get an official statement from Rage or Bethesda or Pete Hines or whoever confirming that Rage 2 is actually happening. But the fact that we did have the Rage Twitter, the Bethesda Twitter, and Pete Hines all weigh in on this, talk about it, even if it's just as a joke, to even give it any acknowledgement, kind of adds to the credibility. Because if it was fake, if there wasn't actually a Rage 2, if there's no credibility to any of this, why would you even respond to it? What do you gain from that? If this is just somebody at Walmart going crazy with guesswork or an employee accidentally pressing the wrong button on titles the company has been briefed on ahead of time is unclear, especially given the weirdly inaccurate entries pointed out above. Still, it is only a matter of weeks until E3. This is when things start to leak. All of this is exciting to look at, but remember to take it with grasping palms full of salt before you get too excited. The E3 countdown continues. So again, we can't really get too hyped about this shit until it's confirmed. I'm not trying to blow my load before E3, but it is exciting to talk about and discuss. But if these happen to be true, the ones I am most hyped for are Borderlands 3, Just Cause 4, Rage 2, and of course Final Fantasy 7 Remake, but come on, I don't think there's any credibility to that shit. I'm starting to think this game never even existed. And I also wouldn't mind a Dragon Quest game on the Xbox One. I'm a big fan of that series, I just don't own a PlayStation 4. You know how it goes, my dudes. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think about these potential leaks from Walmart Canada? Do you think some of them are true, none of them are true, all of them are true? If they happen to be legit, which ones are you most excited for? Hopefully you guys, girls, and transgenders went on to enjoy the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby.